Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being prompt. We're going to give everyone time to get on before we get started, but thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to wait a couple more minutes before we get started, but thank you so much for being here. We're excited to get started this afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kiani Igwe with Griffin and Strong. It is 12 o'clock now, but we're going to give people a couple more minutes to get on just so that we can start as promptly as possible and honor everyone's time, but also give everyone the grace of dealing with Zoom. So we'll get started no later than 12:05. I want to give people a couple more minutes to get on, but good afternoon. All right, everyone, looks like we've got our crew for this afternoon. So thank you so much for being here. Again, my name is Kiani Igwe with the Griffin and Strong PC. Shelby County has partnered with Griffin and Strong, which is a law and public policy consulting firm based in Atlanta, to conduct a disparity study and a comprehensive analysis of Shelby County's contracting process. And the purpose of the study is to determine if there's equitable contracting on the basis of ethnicity and gender. So the purpose of today's event is to hear primarily from you. Our goal is to hear candid testimony from firm owners and community members in Shelby County about either doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. And we want to hear positive, negative, and everything in between. A big part of our methodology for disparity studies is anecdotal, and our anecdotal evidence includes social media comments, email, telephone comments, organizational interviews, one-on-one, focus groups, and these public hearings. And so we want to hear from you. We'll spend most of our time together this afternoon, opening the floor to hear comments and testimony from you guys, the community members. Our goal is not to influence any of your expressions whatsoever. We want to hear a clear and honest representation of your experiences, which we intend to relay back as a part of the disparity study and a part of our overall analysis of Shelby County's contracting purpose. Just want to be really clear that everything said during this hearing will be available public record, and all of your comments are going to be recorded and summarized. There'll be an audio recording made available, and it too will be in the public record. Some of what's shared tonight may or may not be reflected in the final report as quotes or overall impressions. But despite this being an open forum, neither your names, your business names, or other affiliations will be assigned to your testimony in the published final report. This hearing is being presided over by Griffin and Strong and not Shelby County. We're not soliciting questions, but only commentary, testimony, and the like. Additionally, we're not going to be responding to your commentary because we don't want to influence anyone's expressions. The only thing we might ask is to clarify to make sure we understand what you're sharing. And although there may be Shelby County staff present, your comment should not be directed towards them as they're here to listen. Again, I'm Kiani Igwe. I'm the Deputy Project Manager with Griffin and Strong, and I'll be moderating the duration of this hearing. In just a moment, I'll open the floor for comments and ask you one by one to share your experiences and opinions. If at any point you'd like to give comment, we ask that you use the raise hand function, which would just mean clicking participants and then click raise hand. If at any point you're not sure how to do that, feel free to send me a private comment in the chat or to let me know in the chat that you do have a comment. We do ask that everyone present be treated with courtesy and respect, and we do our best to refrain from interruptions and or harsh language. In a moment, when we open up the floor for public commentary, please, before you give your testimony, state your name and your business name clearly for the record. Are there any questions about the functionality or the way this will be held? Okay, once we've gone through everyone who's able to use the raise hand function, I will stop and ask for anyone who might be on via phone or unable to find that function to ask them for any commentary. So we'll go ahead and get started. I will leave all of these fun pieces of information, I know it's a lot, up on the screen, but who would like to begin by providing their testimony or commentary about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County?
I'd like to begin. My name is Andrew Smith. I'm a sales rep with Rico Corporation, and we market content management as well as multifunctional device with copiers, printers. We also do outsourcing for mail, and I've had Shelby County government now for approximately 13 years as the account rep addressing it. And my purpose today is just to get a better understanding of the process. And I do have some input on where there could be some considerations. And that's my statement.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I understand you want to hear more about the contracting process, and we'll connect you with the right people, but do you have anything you want to share specifically about your experience trying to do business with Shelby County?
Well, part of the problem is that most of the RFPs that have went out, there's been a limited amount of response, especially in my marketplace. And I think one, it has to do with Shelby County governments, they do not like to do leasing. Their preference is operating rental. And so from our marketplace, that's a deterrent. And then secondly, also with the minority participation, which it requires that it be in Shelby County. It doesn't give us the flexibility to provide minority participation with the company as a whole, because RICO is we're all over the United States and global, and we do have some minority participation, but that doesn't qualify. And that's my two issues.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Carolyn Hardy. I'm with Industrial Sales. And the only thing I'd like to point out is that Shelby County only counts tier 2 participation, tier 1 participation. They don't count tier 2. That's a real challenge for small businesses because I think one of the things that you'll hear is that one of the challenges that the small businesses are having is that they have bonding capacity issues. And this is in the construction space. But one way to get around the bonding capacity issue is to allow tier 2 to be counted. Tier 2 in Shelby County is not counted, but in other government entities, sectors, it is counted. So that has been a real challenge for us.
Thank you, Ms. Hardy. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your firm name.
Industrial Sales Company of Memphis.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your testimony.
Problem.
Good morning. I'm Chandra Butler with Technology Plus Resource Development. Are you hearing me?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning, Ms. Butler. Please go ahead.
Sure. I have not had, I've applied for different contracts, but so far I've not gotten any. And I will become more active in searching for contracts, which I've done so a few times as well. So I don't have any opinion either way.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Shaw, we see your hand. Please go ahead and unmute and begin your testimony.
Good morning. Thank you. I'm with Universal Collection. We are a local collection agency based here in Memphis, Tennessee. Been here for about 40 years. We do currently hold at least one contract with Shelby County, some with the city of Memphis as well. We've had pretty good work with everyone that we've dealt with. Probably my only challenge or comment in a negative way, we do see a lot of contracts being placed with agencies or firms outside of not just Memphis, but outside of the state of Tennessee. And I guess as a local tax-paying resident who hires Memphians, we would love to see more, more put on local. We've discussed and we've seen a lot of bids from other states where they actually give extra points to local vendors during bid situations. And I guess as a local person, it gets kind of frustrating to see accounts going to Chicago and Texas and stuff like that, when there are, whether it's us or someone else, there are qualified agencies in the Memphis area. And aside from that, we've had, pretty good success with what we've done. Look forward to more in the future.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shaw. We appreciate your testimony. Ms. Jones, we see your hand. Please go ahead with your testimony. Ms. Paula Jones, you are muted if you're currently speaking.
Sorry, I got my headsets on. Good morning. My name is Paula Jones with Technologics, and I serve in the capacity as their IT business development manager. And so basically, we were certified back in I'd say 2018, and that's when everything was, you can come in person and go before a lot of the IT managers and managers in that space and pretty much share what you can offer the county. And so that was a positive. And we have had some ongoing business. However, it's a daunting task when you run up against the big companies, the big manufacturers, hence the name Dell and HP. And if the county buys direct from them, that's kind of a chokehold on the small business. And so I'd like to see it be more strategic in nature where they really make the manufacturers work closely with the partners, the resellers, because it's a sad commentary when you have to register a deal and it's rejected all the time because they probably have already internally placed a deal reg. And so unless they're willing to work with you, you're at a roadblock. And so I'd like to see more of the facilitation of them moving toward saying, hey, they're going to work more with the partners. And I'd like to see that leveraged more. But that's the main thing, is just to hold those big companies, vendors, more accountable. And that's all I have to say for right now. And I appreciate this opportunity to have my voice be heard. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ms. Jones. We appreciate your testimony. Mr. Flay, we see your hand. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Jason Flay with Ashilian Consulting, where we do environmental consulting services. This actually kind of piggybacks off, from what I gathered from the last speaker's comments. Because environmental is usually one of the smallest components of a project, it's really frustrating that our company is a woman-owned small business. A lot of times environmental is roped in with the architecture and engineering as one kit and caboodle. And so we don't really have the opportunities to bid on projects specifically for tasks that are required. We're required more to go to the larger partners. And sometimes it's very difficult knowing what partners have a contract that are looking for the services that we provide. And sometimes it would just be easier to submit a bid on an RFP that's specifically set up for the services that we handle. And that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Flay. We appreciate your testimony. Yes, Mr. Hilliard, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm George Hilliard with Pete Mitchell and Associates Insurance. We've been doing business with Shelby County government probably for the last 40 years, and we still do business with them. But what I've found that they have really good people, very helpful. But some of the frustrations and the challenges I've had, my agency has had in the last 5 to 6 years, is goal setting for us, the RFPs. At one time that they was really trying to be very, sensitive or very compliant with women-owned businesses and minority-owned business. And they set goals, but recently those goals have been somewhat changed. So the inconsistency in the goal setting in my industry, which is insurance, has been somewhat confusing. And I will be talking to some other people that's in position to maybe give me some additional information on some of the reasons that they are making adjustments in their goal setting. So I want to be fair to those who is in those positions, because I actually hadn't had that major conversations, but I will do that. But that's somewhat has been very challenging for my agency in the last 5 or 6 years, is inconsistencies on the goals, uh, setting, why you set this goal and why this has been, uh, I say, withdrawn and something else has been put in place. So an inconsistency on the goal setting in reference to minority owners as well as women-owned business. But I do plan to have some conversation with those who's in position to give me the necessary information I need. But that has been somewhat frustrating to my agency.
Thank you, Mr. Hilliard. We appreciate your testimony. Again, if you'd like to offer your testimony or commentary about doing business with Shelby County or attempting to do business with Shelby County, we'd welcome you to use your raise hand function or to reach out in the chat. If you're unable to unmute and speak, please feel free also to type out your comment in the chat. We welcome that as well. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Jones.
Oh, I did want to add something that, if you recall, I had alluded to how I was able to come and meet with the various powers that be. I think it would be good if in this virtual environment, if they can host something like that again in a virtual way, and so that vendors or potential vendors know who some of the key players are, and I think that would help them better. I just want to throw that out there. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Jones.
You're welcome.
Yes, Ms. Butler.
I'd like to add to what Ms. Jones said. I too attended that meeting she spoke about, where we got to meet the key people in IT. I would love for us to be able to do that again via virtual if that's what's necessary. Also, I would like to see, if we were to have that meeting, I would like for us to also have the opportunity to maybe partner. If that was a possibility.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
So grateful so many of you are present here from the Shelby County community. We do want to hear from as many of you as possible because the intention of the disparity study is to accurately represent the process of contracting with Shelby County. And so it's really important to hear from you all so that our findings are as accurately tailored and representative of the actual experience in Shelby County and our anecdotal evidence. So we'd really love to hear from as many of you as possible about your experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County, looking for positive, negative, and anything in between so that the study really well represents the actual experience in Shelby County. So thank you all so much. I have gotten a couple of comments via chat, so feel free to either unmute, raise your hand, or type in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. Good afternoon, everyone. While we are waiting to solicit commentary and responding to a couple of them via chat, I am going to drop the disparity study email and website in the chat for everyone. If you did have questions you need answered or some clarification, I want to provide those resources for you. That email is checked once a week, and the disparity study website has several frequently asked questions and the scope of the study. So I'll drop those in the chat for those of you who are looking maybe for some more information than this current form is answering. But we're going to stay on to solicit commentary about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. We are still soliciting commentary about doing business with Shelby County or attempting to do business with Shelby County. We are soliciting positive, negative, and everything and anything in between. We do want to hear from as many of you as possible so that the report accurately reflects the experience of firm owners and community members in Shelby County. So far this afternoon, we've talked about the scope of RFPs. We've talked about different expectations or standards in bids. We've talked about the market with which Shelby County procures, staff members. We'd love to hear about any other topics you'd like to lift, positive or negative, about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all so much for being here. I want to reiterate that this public hearing is part of the disparity study. We corroborate our statistical analysis with an anecdotal analysis. And so at the end of the disparity study, our findings and recommendations are a result of both statistical and anecdotal evidence. And then those findings and recommendations are intended to be implemented into policy. And so this is a really great opportunity for those of you who are firm owners or community members to make your concerns or the things you want to commend in Shelby County known so that they can continue to do those things or start to do things differently depending on what we find. And so we really love to hear from as many of you as possible so that the findings recommendations are really well aligned to the experience of doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. Yes, Ms. Jones.
When is the next hearing, since this is virtual public hearing #1? So did you already say that at the onset?
No, ma'am, I did not. The next public hearing is tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Time.
Oh, okay. So pretty much like if this one was not apropos, then you have a second opportunity tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I think I got you. So in case I have something else I want to say, I can come back tomorrow. I tune in tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. If you'd like to, yes, ma'am.
Well, I would like to say one more thing since I have the mic right now. I regret that the county lost that lawsuit, for that diversity. I just think that that's a blow and a major setback, in that regard. And so I understand that's why this study is underway and it's much needed and much appreciated, But, when we started with the county in 2018, as I mentioned earlier, that was to me mission critical to have that, as an opportunity. And it, I'm not gonna say it don't hurt. It hurts to me when, from a business standpoint, when you don't have that MBE or, that kind of status. I mean, it amounts for something locally, on a state level, on a federal level, And so those programs have always been viable. And so I know that we have to, be, you want to mirror, what the community is. And to me, when you strike that down, that's in stark contrast of what, the community is, what, the taxpayers are, that's trying to sustain and do, some viable business here. And so I think the plan is to have the study completed in February. Is that correct? Of 2022?
The goal right now is early 2022. We don't have an exact month, but the goal is early 2022.
Right. Well, y'all need to do it at light speed, but but that's pretty much it. I just like to see an all-out effort. I mean, I'm just pretty vocal by nature, and but I just like to see something, come back and play that would really, really help small businesses and mostly MBEs too.
Thank
And
you.
thank you.
I appreciate that you're vocal. I hope you can encourage some of your community members, but thank you so much.
I got you on that. Well, everybody say things they might not like this kind of platform, but I wouldn't be here if I didn't care, and if I don't want to see us go forward with this program. And I do thank you.
Yes, Mr. Hilliard.
I'm sorry, I was not unmuted. I concur with what Paula just said. As I stated earlier, that Pete Mitchell and Associates has been a beneficiary of the goals at Shelby County in reference to trying to be inclusive. So we've greatly benefited from that. And those kind of programs, I think, is give us minority business an opportunity to compete when we are not able to compete or do the things that we are very capable of given the opportunity. I think everyone loses. And when we start having those type of programs, I don't think that we're allowing people to be able to grow their businesses, to be able to hire additional employees, etc. I just not that they shouldn't be viewed as handout, but viewed as giving minority business owners or women-owned business the opportunity to participate. So when we start doing those things, I think it hurts everyone. And we know there's going to be some that are going to benefit from it, especially your major, I would say, corporations or your major, as we call, majority. But, at the end, I still think that if we shared and we try to be inclusive, that everybody wins. So I've always commended the Shelby County government for trying to do the things that they feel is the right thing to do. But I know there's some hindrances, as Paula just said. Sometimes when you're trying to be inclusive, there are other people though who don't want you to be that way. So by no means am I saying, when I made my statement earlier, that I'm not appreciative of Shelby County government, because they have really actually given us an opportunity to participate. And in somewhat of my frustration is, I'm sure it's not necessary the employees or the staff of Shelby County, but some of the decisions that have been made in reference to my line of business has not actually given me an opportunity to compete like we've done in the past. So I concur with what Paula just said.
Thank you for your testimony, Mr. Hilliard. Ms. Jones, your hand is raised again. Is that intentional?
Hey, I was just stuck in raised hand mode. Actually, I just lowered my hand. Is okay, so we're good? All right.
Yes, ma'am, we are. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Mr. Hilliard, there's nothing wrong with concur with Ms. Jones. It's all good. It's all good.
Okay.
We're in this thing together. So we
Absolutely.
gotta understand. We're in this thing together. You know,
Absolutely.
even though you do insurance, we do IT, we still got to make it.
We got to
And
make it.
it's a connected, it's a sense of community, a sense of self, and everybody, you know, striving to do business in every way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like you said, it's not a handout, but you know, hey, uh, it's just one of those things. Yeah, it's just one of those things. And so you need every avenue to make it work.
We are still soliciting commentary about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. If you are a firm owner, community member, we'd really like to hear from you about your direct experiences, either doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County, as that will make the study as accurately aligned to the true experience in the community as possible. So please feel free to use the raise hand function to unmute yourself or to provide your comment in the chat. Good afternoon, everyone. We have a couple more folks joining us. It's come to our attention there has been a little bit of confusion about the time zone. And so while we have been here for a couple of minutes, we are going to reintroduce the public hearing in case you're just now joining us. Thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have community members as part of the disparity study. My name is Kiani Igwe. I'm with Griffin and Strong, and Shelby County has contracted with Griffin and Strong PC, a law and public policy firm in Atlanta, Georgia, to conduct a disparity study. And the intent of this study is to determine if there's equitable contracting on the basis of race and gender by Shelby County. And so as a part of our disparity study methodology, we try to gather as much anecdotal evidence as possible alongside our analysis of pertinent statistical data. And so part of this anecdotal evidence gathering has included one-on-one interviews, email comments, social media, telephone calls, organizational meetings, and these public hearings. And they are a crucial portion of our analysis so that our findings, recommendations at the end of the study accurately reflect the real experience of doing business, attempting to do business with Shelby County. So the purpose of today's public hearing is to hear testimony from you. We want to hear directly from the community. So the majority of this will be listening about your experiences, positive, negative, and everything in between about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. These anecdotes of the community, of you guys, will help us determine whether Shelby County or the Shelby County private marketplace has passively or actively discriminated against minority and women-owned businesses. We are not interested in influencing your expression in any way, and so we will not be answering questions in this public hearing. We would rather hear a clear and honest image of your experiences, good and bad. And so we may ask a clarifying question to make sure we understand, but we will not be answering questions in this public hearing. We will just be listening to your testimony and commentary. I want to be clear that everything said during this hearing will be available for public record, and all of your comments are going to be recorded and summarized. Some of them may appear directly in our published and finalized report, but they will not be assigned to your personal name, your business, or any other affiliation. This hearing is being presided over by Griffin and Strong and not by Shelby County. So that's why we're not responding to any questions or commentary. And there may be county staff present, but please make sure your comments are not directed towards them as they are here to listen. As I said, my name is Kiani Igwe. I'm the Deputy Project Manager with Griffin and Strong, and I'll be moderating this hearing. In just a moment, I will open the floor again for comments and testimony from you guys, the community members. We do ask that if you are able to use your raise hand functions, that folks can give their commentary one by one. If you're unable to do that, please feel free to unmute yourself, and I will do my best to make sure we don't speak over one another, or to put your comment in the chat that you have a comment or a piece of testimony you would like to share. When you're providing your comments, we would ask that you begin by stating your name and firm name for the record. And we ask that everyone do their best to treat others with courtesy and respect, to do your best to refrain from interrupting in harsh language. We are so grateful you're here and are really excited to hear from community members as we conduct this disparity study. And I will now open the floor for testimony about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County.
Yes, I'm sorry I missed. This is Kelly Maurice. Hi, I'm with Hemline, and I was a minute late getting on, but I think you're reading your instructions. You only want commentary. So our business, we've been in business now for 18 years. So it'll be 19 years next year. And we have never done business with the county, even though that we've had our disadvantaged business enterprise certificate for quite some time now.
Thank you, Ms. Maurice. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Have you attempted to do business with Shelby County?
We had an opportunity once that is coming to mind, and we've received some RFPs. But the opportunity, we started down the road, and then the woman went on maternity leave, and the project went defunct. I don't think she ever came back. So that was our history. I can't say that we've truly chased it, but we have answered some RFPs.
Thank you so much for your commentary. I appreciate
But
it.
we don't get many RFPs. I should say that as well.
Okay. Okay. And what does your firm do? What kind of work does your firm
We do advertising and communications, marketing.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. That's helpful.
Kiani, this is Nisha Powers with Powers Hill Design. We are a civil engineering firm here in Memphis, and we're 16 years old, similar to Hemline. We have done work with Shelby County government, had a good history of doing work with them up until the point that the last disparity study was completed and the new ordinances were implemented, which essentially put us at a huge disadvantage. The way that the ordinance was written, the professional services portion of it required a total of, I want to say 28%, something in that ballpark. I'll have to go back and look at my old notes, but between white female firms and African-American firms, the percentage requirement for using MBE or WBE was about 26 or 28%. So when a larger firm was looking to team with smaller firms, they had to meet that requirement. And we didn't fall into those categories. I'm Indian, so I don't fall into either one of those. I argued vehemently with the county commission at the time to make the case that leaving an Indian female in an engineering field, which we're like a unicorn in a lot of ways, who's been in business for as long as we have and done the kind of good work we've done, was very detrimental to the program and to its intent, I would think. I would argue from my perspective anyway. I pleaded with them to at least include me in the women-owned business category because I knew that I at least fit into that one, no matter how you sliced it or diced it. And they refused to do that. So I would implore you to consider how that's structured moving forward so that we are not negatively impacted again. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Powers, for your testimony. We appreciate it. Yes, Robertson, I see your hand. Please go ahead. Reese Robertson, I'm not sure I'm pronouncing that correctly. Ms. Robertson, we did see your raised hand, but I think you are muted, so we're not hearing you if you've begun speaking.
No, that's no problem. I was just raising my hand to indicate that I'm not seeing anything other than your image on the screen. Am I missing something or?
No, ma'am. We are just soliciting commentary and leaving those instructions up. So as folks come in and out of the room, they know what they are. But that's all that's meant to be up right now. But people are welcome to provide commentary either by unmuting or putting their comment in the chat. We're just creating the space for community members to share about their experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. But no, you're seeing the right thing on your screen.
Oh, I appreciate that a lot. I also just wanted to add that I'm very new to the process and I'm looking forward to learning how to be as effective as possible as a certified WOSB. Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Thompson, please go ahead.
Hey, I was in and out. I was on earlier, then I'm kind of in a training somewhere else. But I did want to get on, and I guess I'm interested. I know I had a county number at one point, and I guess number one, I need to figure out if do I still have that same county number, and then I need to find out. I'm not necessarily sure how many purchases or business availabilities are open to the public, as far as my line of area of expertise is alcohol and drug substance abuse prevention and intervention, that I want to do with the youth. And so how would I go about doing that? And then I need to check on if you would, how you pronounce your last name?
Igwe.
Igwe. I was close.
Yes, sir.
On how we can, I can find out about my county number and what type of program that you have in the area of prevention and intervention. I went the long way around so I can hear myself talk, but I'm glad the opportunities became available. Then lastly, the program tomorrow, is it the same as today?
Yes, sir. So Mr. Thompson, I want to clarify. I'm Miss Igwe. I'm Kiani. I'm with Griffin and Strong. I'm not with Shelby County, but we are partnered with Shelby County, contracted with them to the disparity study. And while I'm not answering questions this afternoon, I would love to connect you with the correct people with the county. And so just a moment, I will drop the disparity study email as well as the website in the chat. And you could reach out to me via email to make sure you get connected with the right people to get answers to your questions. And tomorrow afternoon's public hearing is the exact same forum, exact same purpose of today, just at a different time, given people's personal schedules.
I see boss man Chef Wilbur on, so maybe he can answer some of them questions later on. But Mr. Wilbur, I know him. He's a real good guy.
It does look like they provide a number for you in the chat, for EOC office to be able to help you out. So there is a number in the chat if you're able to see that you can call when you're able.
Fantastic. That'll end my comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson.
Hi, Keone. This is Kelly again. I have a quick question. Does the airport count as doing business with Shelby County? I guess because it's the Shelby County Airport Authority, or is that separate?
So I actually am not able to answer questions during the public meeting regarding the scope of the study, but I'd love to answer them via email. So if you could send me an email, I would love to answer your question.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
So for clarity, Ms. Iani, the participants, including myself, we're here as a part of a study to understand what the process is like for procuring opportunities with the Shelby County? Is that this platform about?
So no, ma'am, the purpose of this study is actually for us to gather commentary from you about your experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. We did host an informational meeting about what the study will entail and what the methodology is in that entire process. And while we held it in June, on that website I provided for you, there is a recording to better understand the scope of the disparity study. So that's why I'm not speaking a whole lot, because the purpose of this afternoon is to hear from you guys about your experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County as a part of our anecdotal methodology to accompany the statistical evidence as a part of the disparity study to determine if there's equitable contracting on the basis of ethnicity and gender with Shelby County.
Oh, I understand that now. Thank you.
Of course.
Just for clarity, are there any other additional participants that have experienced procurement opportunities with Shelby County that would like to elaborate on it, or was that the only one that's on the call? I'm in a part of this Zoom meeting. Is there anyone else on the call that has experienced any procurement opportunities with Shelby County? And if so, is there anything that you would be willing to share in this study? I'm very new to this process, so I'm not really clear on the process of securing a contract or any procurement opportunities with Shelby County. I would love to understand what the process is like. Thanks for listening to me.
Well, it's Kelly again at Hemline, and perhaps I should have done my homework a little bit more before I got on this call. I do realize my business partner completed an RFP that we did receive for Shelby County Mental Health Campaign. And it was due back in, I believe, in July, and we're still waiting to hear word. It's past the deadline and we've gotten no word whether or not we've received it. Like we've won the bid, or if it was closed, or if it went to anyone else. So to my knowledge, that's the status on it. We still track it in our, I'll pull it up real quick so I'm not speaking out of turn. We track it in our project management system, and so we are just waiting to hear. Yeah, we had to submit by July 6th. That was the date. So that would be our first opportunity to do business should we win it, but we haven't heard anything. It's been our experience to date.
Thank you, Ms. Maurice. We appreciate it.
Welcome. I think that's it. I can't promise. I might pop back on.
You're welcome to. You're absolutely welcome to.
Thanks.
As mentioned previously, we are soliciting commentary or testimony about your experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. At the end of the disparity study, it is our intention to, regardless of what we find, to report those findings and recommendations, and those are intended to be implemented into policies. It's a really great opportunity for you as a community member or a local firm owner to make your voice heard, to make sure that any recommendations we do make are accurately aligned to the experience of doing business with or in Shelby County. So we'd really like to hear from as many of you as possible. And if speaking makes you nervous, feel free to send a message in the chat or even to send a comment to the disparity study email provided. We'd love to hear about any and all experiences doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. Everyone, we are reaching the end of our scheduled time together, but given the confusion about time zones, I am going to stay on a little bit longer for anyone who would like to provide their commentary or testimony about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. If any of you got a little shy, please feel free to provide your commentary via the email, disparity study email provided, but I'm going to stay on for at least another 20 minutes to allow folks to provide their commentary or testimony, but one to thank all of you who have been present so much for being here, for engaging in the way that made sense for you, and providing your commentary and testimony for those of you who did. It's going to be really helpful for the disparity study and our anecdotal evidence. So really appreciate you sharing your experiences.
Good afternoon. This is Barbara Johnson McKinney with My Faith Inc. And I just want to add to the conversation that I've been very pleased with Shelby County. Now, I haven't done any business with them, but they really helped me with becoming certified, keeping my certification, assisting me when I need any help with the process. So I just want to share that I am looking forward to doing some business with them in the very near future. And they have been really good, you know, pre-pandemic, the meetings, I mean, really trying to help me focus and see how they could help my business, you know, do business with the county. So I just want to add that.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your commentary.
Okay.
Thank you all so much for being here. If you need to jump off, we totally understand. The EOC office has provided a number. If you do need assistance specifically with the process, please feel free to give them a call. If you have any other questions or concerns, please contact us via the disparity study email and check out the disparity study website. I will stay on for a couple more minutes, but thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate your participation.
Thank you.
Also, I just want to add, just for additional clarity, if anyone is on the call and is currently not certified, I just want to say that the process is very thorough and there's a supportive team in place to help you navigate through the process to complete the certification. And that's been my full experience as of now. And I'm looking forward to reaching back out to the EOC to understand what's next regarding how to, again, secure some procurement opportunities. Thanks for anybody that's on the call, that's still here and listening. If you're not certified, number one, I certainly encourage you to do that. And then number two, if you know anyone who is not certified but would like to become certified, certainly have them to reach out to the EOC. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Robertson. We appreciate it. All right, folks, I'm going to stay on for about another 10 or 15 more minutes, but we are still collecting commentary about the experience of doing business or attempting to do business in Shelby County to assist in the anecdotal evidence collection, the disparity study, and determining if there's been equitable contracting on the basis of ethnicity and gender by Shelby County. We really appreciate any and all commentary as it makes the disparity study stronger to accurately reflect the experiences in the county and of firm owners and local leaders. So thank you so much for being here. We appreciate any commentary you have to give. Please feel free to use the raise hand function to unmute yourself or to provide your commentary in the chat. We have about 10 more minutes here together. Thank you so much for being here. So grateful to have the participation that we do. Still soliciting any candid testimony about doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. You can provide that by unmuting yourself, using a raise hand function, or in the commentary in the chat. I will provide again the website for the disparity study and the disparity study email to answer any questions, or if you'd like to reach out to provide your commentary in that way. Good afternoon. We will be ending this public hearing in about 2 minutes. Thank you so much for participating. Just to reiterate, if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to the disparity study email. The EOC office has provided the office number in the chat if you have questions specifically about doing work with Shelby County. We will be hosting another public hearing tomorrow afternoon at 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it will be virtual as well. Please take a look at the disparity study website and pay close attention in early 2022 when we expect to complete the disparity study. Thank you so much for being here and for participating. We're really grateful for your participation and look forward to what we find and recommend at the end of the study. Have a great afternoon, everyone, and I'll stay on till about 10 till the hour.
Hello.
Hi, Mr. Hannett. Am I pronouncing that correctly?
Yeah, Hannett.
Hannett, yes, sir.
I had a call before your first call. Got in on this on your call about with 5 minutes left when all the good juicy stuff had been talked about. Then I had another call I jumped on, and I jumped in back in on this one, and you were saying, and we are going to be so I apologize, but in a nutshell, because I don't want to obviously put you through this whole thing again, what was the decision and how does it affect Shelby County?
So we actually haven't made any decisions on this public hearing. The purpose of this event today and tomorrow's public hearing is to collect evidence from community members, both firm owners and otherwise, about their experience doing business or attempting to do business with Shelby County. We weren't actually answering any questions or no findings or recommendations. It's a part of the methodology of the disparity study.
Right, okay. On the first call out that I was in on, I thought I heard something to the effect of, not from you, I don't believe, but talking about a court decision or something to that effect.
I think they were referencing a previous one in years past about a previous disparity study, but feel free to reach out via the disparity study email or the website if you need more clarification.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Of course. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to end the meeting now. Look forward to seeing you all at the end of the study and appreciate your participation. Have a great afternoon.